Welcome, our Hope community. I know that puts a smile on my face. Why? Because I have seen the worst of it all. I have seen people come to the other side at the end of the tunnel where there is light, and then I keep seeing fresh people get into the boiling waters, and I'm like, God, give them the strength that they need so that they can be able to journey up to the end of the tunnel. So I've been able to, like Paul say, that I have seen what scarcity means, and I have seen and been privileged to test what plenty means, and I will say that praise be to the name of the Lord. So welcome. If you enjoy this program, please share it with someone that is in need of help, that is in need of light, so that they can feel loved and rejuvenated. And the scripture for today, while I was praying this morning, this came to my mind, Romans 5:3-4, that not only so, but we also glory in our suffering, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, character, and character, hope. So you see that at the end of it all, the perseverance, and I think I talked about some of our sufferings cannot be explained. Like there is no one literally you can point a finger to and say that he's the source of my suffering, she's the source of my suffering. It's unexplainable. But again, suffering produces perseverance produces character, and character produces hope that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and everything is going to work together for the good of those that love the Lord. So today we have another inspiring story, a life-changing story. Not just inspiring, but a life-changing story. One that will change the trajectory of your life, how you look at your life, and one that is going to give you the hope to keep fighting. And it's coming from a very wonderful gentleman that I've known for quite a long time. If I had just met Herbert today, I would say maybe this is just another story. I have seen Herbert for a very long time, very diligent at his work, a perfectionist, I would say, wanting to deliver the best that he can deliver. And the time that I got to know about his story, I was like, what? I didn't know that people go through this kind of intensity and can still have the resilience to not just exist, but to be in this world, nurture children, have a family, and have goals and have aspirations, and he's walking towards them, and it's just an amazing story. So you and I are getting into the classroom today. Welcome, Herbert.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
I must say it's God's grace.
You know, I don't say this, or I've never said this to you, but for me, working with you, with your kind of resilience of bouncing back each time, like it's an honor to watch.
Thank you.
It gives me so much hope, even for my own children or my brothers. You know, whenever they go through certain things, I'm like, if Herbert figured it out, they will figure it out. Like seriously, like you measure up some people and you're like, you know what, if with his situation he could figure it out, if he can be alive today, if he can believe in God today, if he can be fighting on another day, then I believe that everyone can actually try to make it in life. So
I'm really glad.
yeah, and I want us to go to the very beginning of this, so that people can know who Herbert is, where he comes from. Okay. I know that is going to be another story altogether, but in a nutshell, the people that are watching us, they need to watch someone that they know who is Herbert.
Well, first and foremost, I'm glad I am here, and for the longest time I've been wanting to share my story. And I know there are very many people who might be in my shoes, and some of them do not know where to go. And some of them are stranded. Well, people might be thinking, what am I talking about? First and foremost, I am a person who doesn't know who I am.
Okay.
That's concerning my history. To begin with, I don't even know who gave me my name. Both my names, I don't know. That is something that hit me hard one of these days. I grew up in SOS, Children's Villages. It's found in Kachiri. They have different branches. There's one in Entebbe, there's one in Gulu, then there's one in Fort Portal. But me, I grew up in Kakiri because it was the pioneer.
Okay.
I was admitted there in 1994, 1993.
Was that the age where you were fully now understanding? Were you understanding by the time you were taken there?
I couldn't understand.
Who took you there? Where did you come from?
Now, that is a story that really baffles me. When I was leaving the organization, they usually give us a form of who you are. So you check their checklists, and to them, they follow that so that you can get your identity as a person. Unfortunately, mine is a different one. I was picked in a taxi park when I was 6 months.
6 months old.
6 months old. Now, that's a story that kind of hit me hard, because while I was reading that document, they said somebody picked me up, they took me to a police station. Now, upon the police station, they wanted to do advertisement, they tried to, look for the person who had, thrown the baby. And 2 days passed, nobody claimed. So apparently there's Naguru baby's home. So they took me there until I think I was around 3. And by then I think the sisters or the caretakers didn't know what to do. It's like Sanyu baby's home. They call for people to come, adopt children.
The children.
It's a sketchy thing, but one of the things I do remember was they took me to court while I was young. So I think
Sabanot was trying to adopt you?
So in SOS, they adopt you, but they have to go through the court process to show that they own you up.
Okay.
So that is a thing that I still
remember
as a kid. Reaching in the organization, it's a different feel.
So that means you in the IOS. What
SOS.
is that in full?
It's just SOS, Children's Villages.
Okay, but you get there 3 years at 3 years.
Yes.
You remember going through court. You don't know what exactly is happening.
I don't know what exactly happened.
But now you change location and start staying in a different place.
Now, they just adopt me and put me in that place.
Okay.
While I was there, I didn't understand anything. But everything is sketchy about me, including the age. Because on the document, they don't know my age. Okay. They don't know when I was born. They don't know where I was born. The only
parents?
No parents. The only place they remember,
Naguru,
taxi park, and the police station.
Okay.
So, as a child, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
You just see other children, you keep on playing around, and you're like, yeah.
When do you read this file? I want us to fast track before we go back. When do you read this file?
Now, this file, I read this file around 2019.
2019, that was how old do you think you were?
I was around, I would say 20.
So you were that old?
I was that old.
You were signing out of that place?
So what happens is that for them, they take care of you up to the age of 23.
Okay.
Now, at 23, they expect you to have,
to be established.
You have
find
work,
stability somewhere.
And something like that. Because even the sponsors, because for them, they are children, of course, technical things. By 16, for them, their children are able to, produce something or do. So they expect the same here in Uganda. So at 23, they give you that leeway for you. So they give you maybe up to 24.
Okay. But now, you read it at 23. We'll come back to that. During your upbringing, your growing up, you didn't know anything about parents, about what you didn't have anything crossing your mind that why am I here? I think other people have parents.
No, it didn't.
Like you found yourself there and you just accepted the fact that you were there.
It's not even actual accepting. You don't understand what is going on.
Okay. You feel this is the normal.
This is the normal thing.
I'm living my own normal life.
This is the normal thing. I must tell you, by our time, or by our regime, the facility had a lot of money. A lot of money. That for us, we were blinded by money.
Okay.
Everything was
You
there.
ate well, you slept well,
I've
you
never
went to
used,
school.
I'm telling you, I've never used the pit latrine. I had never used it until around 2009. I was like, wow, this life is different.
Different.
But everything was there.
But for you, you thought it was a normal life.
We have a mom in that house who takes care of you. Then we have an administrator. An administrator is a man. For us, we used to call them Tata. So you call Tata, but you don't understand why you're calling them Tata. The other thing is, they are not always available. They are not there. Because he's a director of...
They go back to their homes.
The families, the homes in that facility are around 12 by that time. So, and the children in a family house around 13 members. Now, you're like, Tata, to come and greet each and every one in the house, that's a different thing. So for us, we didn't grow up in a facility whereby the father was there 24/7. All we could see were caretakers. That's the mom. Now, I remember when I was around 7, the person I first called mom in my life resigned and left.
That must have been shocking.
So, I'm like, wait a minute. What is going on? She has left. What else? But now, something is starting to trigger. And I'm like, because we used to have a school where we used to have community children. Now, the community children used to have their parents on them. So a mother doesn't leave, a father doesn't leave. So mine has left.
The one you called mama.
The one I called mama. So in that community, the school, we used to have people who used to envy us as children. You're a child, they're envying you. You don't understand. The reason was we were having everything, money, facility, and everything. But we didn't have the parents.
Yeah.
So they could,
a sense of belonging.
So they could tell us, Babalonda Kasasiro.
That's what people used to say.
Yes. And somebody could boldly tell you, Babalonda Kasasiro, go to Joli.
How would that make you feel? So
as a child, I remember I shouted and cried. And I told one of the children, Ninakulope wa tata. So I'm telling to report him to the father. And
the other father, the administrator.
Yes. So things started kicking in, slowly by slowly. But now, the person that was now in the house, the mom.
The new one.
We had no connection. You couldn't even tell the person that, you know what?
You have a problem.
Somebody has told me, Banonda Kasasio. Mbulida, tell me where I came from. So, it is a problem that grew up. So you die silently. Because the person has a lot of people to take care of. Not only you. Even the person that tells you that they are Tata, he resigned. The man left. The one we had actually known.
Gotten used to.
Again, he left. So they bring in another one. Until something was not right. I went into depression.
While you're still in the home?
Yes. But I couldn't talk. I couldn't even tell anyone. Because right now, the person that I call mom is a traditional one. Don't talk back at her. You don't fear.
Stay away from me.
She created a wall. You call her mom, but you create a wall. So, free communication, free speech
was never there.
was never there. So in my mind, I grew up knowing that is how things are supposed to be.
In a home.
In a home. Now, what baffled me was the same thing, because every time I grew up, I could see parents meeting. People are very happy with their parents. They are coming. Somebody's father is even very, very active in the parents' meeting. I'm like, who are we?
Who is fighting for us?
Who is fighting for us? Because the facility was ours. All you need to do is go back home, find where you find the solace. Why you sleep in Bama and you don't. Why you play. It's
routine. Wake up, go through the day, sleep.
So they created what they call a youth home. I think in the daily thing is the boys' quarters, so the youth home, now the youth facility. Now, the youth facility is a different one, whereby you are semi-independent. They give you money, you take care of yourselves.
At what age?
That's around 14.
Okay.
They give you money, take care of yourself.
They're teaching you independence.
They are teaching you independence. Now, one time I was tired. I remember one of those days I failed to run to somebody to talk to. Because everything was not adding up. I don't have a parent. I don't have a brother. I don't have a sister. Everything now came onto my plate. And I could clearly see
that you were alone.
I was alone. Because even right now, even the people that we grew up with in the same family, the communication is not there. They also feel, I think, it's the same thing.
They're battling with the same thing.
They are battling with the same thing. I got tablets and I did commit suicide.
In the youth home?
In the youth home.
No one knows?
No one knows.
They gave you money to take care of yourself?
They give you money to take care of
yourself. But the world is becoming dark.
The world is becoming dark. Now, I realized that there is nothing that you can do to change your past. The only thing you need to do is to accept. I had failed.
To come to terms.
To come to terms with it. Even at my secondary school, they used to tell us, so that thing would hit you up all the time.
Like you don't have anyone, no brother, no sister,
no brother,
nothing.
No sister, no nothing. You were there. I get tablets. Truth be told, I think I died. I don't know. By that moment, I stiffened. My body stiffened. And I couldn't move.
You're alone in the room?
I was alone in the room. It stiffened. Now, I get a dream. We're in the line. And there was down a hall, and then there was that line. Now we were besides the hall. And then I think it was God or someone, I don't know. But it would like Subi Bat.
Go the other side.
Now it was my turn. So the person looks at me and then he's like, I don't know what to do with you. I eventually get back to my senses, but my body is stiff. I can't move. All I know is I am vomiting. Vomiting. And in a split of a second, a voice spoke to me. A voice asked me, is it worth it? And I'm like, you are asking me, is it worth it? Do you know what I'm going through? Sitting up as that day, because the whole thing in life right now is all I'm thinking is parents. You know, people have different sayings. Woli wola bilo musala n'enjuba. Gw'okyera. So I could meet people and the person will tell you, I wish I was like you. Mwana.
One who has parents.
One who has parents.
Meanwhile, for you, you are dying because you don't have.
I am dying to have mine. That the only thing I want was to ask them, Chichi chenda bakola.
The parents.
The parents.
At that time, did you know that you were abandoned in the taxi park? Or no. You had not yet known? All you knew is you don't have a belonging.
That is where they could hide all our things.
They hid all the files.
They hid all the files.
They don't want you to start thinking and...
Now, that one happened to us who were total orphans. Now, there are those that had the parents, but their parents maybe couldn't take care of them. So you could see somebody says, I'm going to Kuumula.
Oh, to their parents.
To their parents. And you're like, where am I going? So one time, there's a lady who used to work there. She says, Mumuleta umulireke wange.
Wow.
I am puzzled. Mumuleta umulireke wange. Ali mukunyamba buyambi.
And you understood that?
I understood that. Because yateka kaka kwa kulizo. Bring him to my place because he's a well-behaved boy.
That's all.
That's all.
Not because he belongs here.
Not because even they have...
Yeah.
So I went there, started seeing how life is different. You can't connect. You can't understand anything. I tell them, you know what? Nkoye.
Let me go back.
Let me go back. Now, I remember one of the sisters that we grew up in, they were in a process of looking for her parents, the real ones, because they could kind of trace. So, one time, mama, Nanga wants
to look for the parents.
Look for my parents.
Wow.
I think she even failed to give me an answer at that moment. But she told me, we are working on it.
Just to give you hope.
Just to give me hope. Now, while in the youth home, I'm like, I am tired. So, I gather myself after that voice, and I'm like, Bangambie, the voice asked me, is it worth it? And I'm like, true, it's not worth it. Because at the end of the day,
what am I fighting for?
What am I even fighting for? If a parent who took me in for 9 months can throw you out. Now, I was like, it was just because of me. So I start watching news. Akana bakasude mutoi. Akana bakasude kasasiro.
You started seeing those things.
I started seeing those things. I became bitter. I became bitter at my parents who I don't know. And that is a prayer I always pray to God, that I can have space to forgive.
Wow. But to even forgive who you don't know.
Forgive who? Because at least somebody can give you an explanation.
Yeah.
You know what? We didn't have this, we didn't have this. That's the reason that's why we threw you out. But I don't even know where to begin from. Now, I'm like, you know what? Let it go. I am going to walk aimlessly in this life. Me as me. 2009. They tell me, how about you're going to study this? I'm going to study this. I tell them no. I want to do radio presenting. Now, I got that anger because I believe nobody could listen to me. Because I couldn't even write to anybody else. So I go to office, I tell them, I want this course. You're not taking me to A level. I don't. out of anger. I told them, even, now this is the first time I'm saying it, I deliberately failed senior 4. I told them, me personally, I did it out of anger. I deliberately. So they can take me to a technical side.
Ah, that's what you wanted.
That's what I wanted. Because I didn't see any reason. Why am I leaving? To who? And where? I don't have a sense of belonging. Because at the end of the day, they are throwing you out. Now, while in the youth home, they could have meetings with us. So they could tell you, Munange, your time is
coming to an end.
Coming to an end. So somebody is telling you, your time is coming to an end. And you start from where?
Building more stress.
That is building
You
more
don't know what to expect.
You don't know what to expect. So I'm like, okay. So your aim is for us
just get out.
Get out. So that
out.
they can
Others
bring in more others. So I'm like, cool. I did fail my senior 4, told them I'm going to do mass comm. And it worked out. So they sat me in the office and said, are you sure I want to do it? I told them yes. He told me, if you fail this, we are not sponsoring you anymore. I told them, it is okay. I go, I do my certificate. Very well. They're like, okay, that's good, that's nice. I told them, I want to do a diploma. He said, do you want a diploma? He said, yes, I want it. So now, meanwhile, while I'm doing this out of anger, God is aligning something.
I know.
Something that I didn't expect. So they first took me to a certain school. I wasn't conversant with it. I didn't even like it because we grew up with things. We had money. So somebody is spending money to teach you computer that you've been even having at home. So I'm like, this is not worth it. I told them, that's when I told them, you know what? Nature season. So let me continue with my diploma. And then the rest, you can leave me. You can let me go. So now, I used to have that love for radio even before, even in the family house. So I could get those funny things, make sure the radio works. And I think that's where my mom was like, my boy, to more chance. Zembade mulaba. So I was like, fine. So I did my things.
Your diploma.
Went to the university. Now, while at the university, they tell me, we've terminated you.
While at the university?
Yeah.
They didn't wait for you to complete?
Now, the issue came at the university. The organizations pay using banks, smart checks, smart EFT, and whatever. So the university, they had those challenges. So they used to have back and forth. They send money late, the money bounces, the thing reflects, they don't pay bank charges. So they told me at the university, we're not sitting for exams. So the organization was saying, we've been paying, but this man maybe, they tell them, you know what? This money has been, accumulating. You've not been paying bank charges and the rest. So we have nothing to do for you. You pay up. So the organization tells me, Fetukutadi.
Okay.
So I'm like, Omanye, it is well. It is well. I must tell you, even my brothers, all the people, most of them that have grown up in SOS children's villages, some of them don't want to go back. They just hate the name. Not because of the organization, but it's because of the people with them. Somebody is working, but they're mistreating you as a child. Kuba you have una sent. He's paid. They are
And yet
paid.
you're an orphan.
I am an orphan. Kati,
That should be touching enough to know that you're providing a home for someone.
They even changed names. A loving home. It's now called this was a loving home. So that they can bring those hearts back to the children. Some of them have never gone back ever since they left. They just hate it.
They had their own internal battles, but there were external battles as well.
There were external battles as well. So, now, while I start renting outside in 2009,
did they give you rent?
So they used to give us rent. They give you rent, then they give you upkeep for 100,000 per month. So
that's graduating from the youth home
to
outside world.
Outside world. Kati gwamanyi. Whatever you are doing, it's up to you. So something hit me, like I said, while I was with that anger and all those things, God was creating a way. Mami, I didn't know God. Those things of God, you know. Because, one, I was angry with him. You can't let people throw me in a taxi park and you tell me you're God. You can't tell me you're a loving father, yet my own father couldn't love me. You can't tell me feel at home. Where I grew up from, it was at home. But I think God punishes us in a way that you learn. You learn a hard way. So after all those years at the university, you have failed to graduate. So God is saying, it is good, it is well. Kakati uliweka. Right now you are alone.
You have no home to go back to.
You have no home to go back to. Secondly, SOS has let you go. They give you a warning of 6 months.
Is that around the time that you read the file?
I go back home. After that, they tell me, while your sponsors have been, paying, we've been having that. We are going to tell you how much you have so that you can start from there. Or else, go money. So I'm like, okay. So I told them before, I need to know who I am. So I go to the office and the director is very happy. This time around, they've changed directors over 5 times. So I meet this new one, he's very happy. He gives me my file. And all I'm seeing is not known.
Blank.
Not known. Everything is not known. Born where? Not known. I said, these guys are jokers. So I go back to the administration and tell them, what is this? That is what we know about you. That is who you are. So you can make the best out of it.
How did you look? What was running through your mind? What expectations did you have?
I remember I left the office, came back to Kampala in my Kazigo and sat down and closed the door. I cried. But then there's nothing, te wali, because
Toina wotandikira.
Oninyani.
Tewali busungu bwo bumalira.
Somebody is telling you, because people are saying, from nange twina ettaka eri ewagundi, tulina ttaka. You don't have a belonging. Bakubuuza ekikato kirina. You know, kati nze, those things didn't even actually bother me. They didn't. Simanya chika, simanya taka, sima what, I didn't. The only issue was about my parents. Obusungu ngambulina.
Nigamba ani azaala omwana namuleka mu paaka.
Kale artist ndagako muganda wa. Because somebody could tell you manyi. Munange abazadde bo baafa naye, but we have some people.
We trust some people.
We trust some people. There your auntie, your jaja is there.
At least at the back of your mind you know, okay, there are some people.
Me.
Nothing.
So, I go back. I say to them, it's okay. I read what you told me. Kati, the man you told me. I say, okay. I've been able to save for you some money. And yeah, it is. So they give me 13 million. I'm like, good, 13 million. Where should I start from? Now, by then, I'd just, I think, started with Spirit, working with Spirit. And I had the money on the account was there. So I used to hear a lot of people, buy land, mugule taka, mukoleji, kale artist, and I'm like, okay, taka kale, it's okay, fine. Until I think it was one of those meetings we had. And Uncle Keita was like, you know what, I have this man. If you want to buy land, please contact the man, the gentleman. And I'm like, wait. Naya kasente kange. Let me contact the gentleman. So I contacted the guy. And the guy, we meet up and I buy the land. And I'm like, then what? Now, in all these things, the path, the suffering, and the rage, and all those things, the path God was creating for me was to give me a starting point. Start. Nobody's going to tell you, nobody's going to sit in for you in your own life.
It's your life.
It's my life.
You drive it. You make it what you want.
So, kati, the whole thing was, ogenda kuwaso njagala funa mukyala. Naye bagenda kubuuza oli wa kika ki. All those things used to bother me a lot. So I'm like, Omanyi, no. Let me take a step. Let me get this girl. Mukwane bulungi nnyo ekijja kijja. So I tell her, you know what? Nze gundi. Yenze. So I remember I get the file of who I am. Nenjimutera ku meza. Nemugamba either accept me or ngafuna omulala gy'okunzikiriza nga bwendi. So the girl looks at me and she's also confused. She's like, nange simanyi kyakukolera. I don't know what I'm going to tell my parents. So I tell her, do you have both your parents? She's like, no, I grew up with a single mom. I'm like, good. So I'm like, gwakula ne single mom, nze saakula na muntu yenna. But it gets back to us as an individual, whether you have parents. Now, that statement reminded me of those people who used to tell me, I wish it was better. You didn't, I was in your shoes. Because we have parents who do not even care about us.
They are there?
They are there.
But they don't care.
People have families, but families don't even
totally detached.
So that statement helped me to convince this girl. She accepts. Trouble came when I wanted to officially do things with her. Back home in Kachiri, it was war.
Back home?
In Kachiri, where SOS.
Why?
Because I wanted to tell them, Munang, nze njagala kutukuza bufumbo, kula bufumbo, tandika maka gange.
So what did they want?
So the mom is like, no, first build. First build. You need actually to do a lot of things. You still have a life ahead of you. So at the back
marriage is not one
so
of
at
them.
the back of my mind, I'm like, which things? Obulamu, what is that thing that is pushing me to do things? Nothing.
So you used to still update them about your life and what was happening?
Yes. So I'm like, I need something that pushes me to do things. The way things are supposed to be done. Sente zenkola. Zigenda wa. I need to have a home. Sirina makasi. I don't have anybody. Currently, like, I could even commit suicide.
You were alone.
I remember one of our brothers, he started hiding from us. Both children. He didn't have anybody to talk to. He used to hustle, go nataniko kupota, until the guy killed himself.
Life became hopeless.
So I was like, I do not want to end up there. I need to give myself an identity of who I am.
No one gave it to me, but I need to create it.
I need to create it. So, I push. After 1 year, my mom failed. She said, no, you're not going to do it. I gave it time. Now I have a son. I'm like, no, this is not right. This is not right. These people need identity now. Bo, nabo tebeka kasa.
Where do they belong?
Kati, now, again, in my story, I learned something. That nobody is going to teach you to be a better parent.
That's true.
Except you. Because the things I learned with my first child gave me more anger to my parents. Because give me a reason why you would drop your child. No mukasuka.
I know. 6 months.
We've seen people.
You walk to a taxi park.
We've seen girls being raped. Nakuza omwana we. Minus them having something to
like
eat.
there is no explanation, there is no excuse. It can't be valid.
My first son, we had nothing to eat in the house. But I told my wife to get nakubera. So God was giving me all those things.
Yeah.
I tell my mom, it's okay. If you don't want to be part of my things, it is okay. I'm just informing you. I do my budget, take it to her. She looks at it and she's like, no, kwanjula tebakukola we batyo. Wetaga no sente nyingi. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. Because the whole thing is about creating my own
identity. I'm not here to look lavish and to look expensive.
I didn't want to have that nowhere to belong. I looked at my brother. There's another brother of ours. He's always drunk. He doesn't have anybody. Even if you call him, he doesn't. Taina mwana, but he used to have a lot of money. Right now he's at 0. I'm like, I'm not going to go that road.
To end like that.
Olimeseza abantu bangi mama. Naye nze ndeka. Let me do things the way I'm supposed to do them. I do my introduction and all those things. Now, one of the things that hit me hard and still hit me hard was my identity. Omwana asoma. Besiba bagenda kubuuza ovaawa biki and all those things. So I'm like, omanyi, let me go to the second tata they brought to us. So I go to him, I tell him, this and this and this. What's going to happen. He's glad he said, ngenda kubeera taatawo.
Oh.
I was really, really happy. Ngenda kubeera taatawo.
At least you want to refer to something.
Yes. Ngenda kubeera taatawo. So he's like, don't worry about those things. It's my because
take after mine.
So before I know it, my mom is on board. She calls me after a week or a day. Kakati, everybody wa. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on.
Speedy nyingi.
Speedy nyingi. Twatuteyo gundi budget. Otugamba tebirimu ibyo sikimayo kyali. Ngamba what happened? I'm gamba, hey. So at the back of my mind, I'm like, you are in now. Good. She made my introduction soup.
Wow.
One of the things I am grateful
Guardian
for,
angels.
one of the things I'm grateful for was that even up to today, she tells me, your introduction was on point. You know, talking of perfectionists.
She's a super one.
She's a super one. She wants things to be on point. Now, amidst all this, so I take my child to school. One of those days. So they write me a sheet. ID, want to get this boy, get to know him. I'm like, oh, cool. Nziruka, I'm that responsible father. I run to school. So they're like, no. Nin wants to know who the boy is, what, who's born, parents. So I'm in the line. I am the one being, you know. So the lady asks me, Oli wa chikachi? Ogwa mu chikachi? And I'm like, those things are not necessary. TV tags, she tells me. Bwaba bakulonda bulunzi mu kasasiro tubuulire. And I'm like, oh my God. She's back at it.
Yeah.
So I am having my son here on the hand. This lady is shouting. So I wanted to get back at her. But this time around, I look back, there's a long line of people.
Toyiye chika.
Toyiye chika.
Nerinya terijja kugenda.
So the lady shouts, Yiye chika kati, chimbulire, tell me now. I want to know your clan. So something hit me hard. Whenever I used to eat grasshoppers, my body would react. I'm like, ndi wansenene. Ekyo kye kibadde kikulemye okwogera sima bakwendako bwensi. So he spoke a lot of rubbish. Then I told this lady, muli owulira otya ng'omaze okubyogera? How would you feel? How do you feel? You feel better? And I left. So one of those things, so my son asks me, so Daddy, chika chechi? Told you know what? I'll tell you later on.
I don't want to get into this conversation.
I don't want to get into this conversation, but I will tell you later on. So I said, creating your own identity is a personal thing. Kuba ne taata wa kuwa ekika ate n'amala n'akiyigala nakikujjako. Nagamba nze nkuzaalukuse you no longer my son or my child or my daughter. And I'm like, okay, good.
I can give myself an identity.
I can give myself an identity. So I tell my wife, from today we are the Mwesigwas. Whether you like it or not. And that name Mwesigwa has pushed me to do things.
Wait, so originally your name was not Mwesigwa?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because, like I said,
from the family home,
like
what
I
were you
said,
called?
I was Mwesigwa.
Okay.
But like I said,
okay, so now you are accepting it.
I'm
You're like,
accepting
we are
it.
finally the
Ngenda
Mwesigwas.
kikolera ki?
I don't know where it came from, but we are finally the Mwesigwas.
Even the times I used to want to do wrong things, something would resound in my mind. And it's like, do you want to shame your name Mwesigwa?
jukira gwatandise ekika.
Nze atandise ekika. Nze kitandise ekika.
Wokiswaza gwa.
So, I sit down with my wife and tell her, kuva n'olwaleero tuli bansenene.
Amanya g'abaana?
Bonna be bamwesigwa.
Wow.
Nze tombuulira, don't tell me. Simanyi gwe nagundi osegundi.
Simanyi mubala gundi. Nebyo tebyetaagisa.
My only thing now was to give God the attention he deserved, which he showed me in the first place, but I didn't know and I didn't want to see. Because I was being covered by the problems of this world. By the problems I think could be even bigger. Yet they are minor.
As in what's done has been done.
Has been done.
You can't change it.
You can't tell your parents to
show up.
To show up.
To accept you.
Panyambe chi. Secondly, you can't tell them todamu kunsula. Now, that thing taught me a lot of things. To be a better father.
Wow.
I always look at my sons and I'm like, you will never get a better father than
me.
And I will show up.
Everything I didn't get, I will give to you.
I will give to you. I will show up and I will be here.
Wow. I'll build a better family, a better
until
identity.
God says, you know what?
This is it. Wow.
I told my wife the same. I'm going to be a husband. Tata gotarina, I'm going to be here.
Just be my mother also.
Just be my mother as well.
And how has she done so far?
She's done
excellent.
Great. She's done great. Excellent.
Wow.
So, I've learned a lot of things in this story of mine. And somebody out there might think that wali wako me. Everything starts with you.
And ends with you.
And ends with you. You know, life is like when you are in a lose. Muka toilet yako. Olimu weka. Whatever happens there, it is you. I was like,
and this goes to whether you have parents or not.
Yes.
Like God did not tie you to anyone.
God did not tie you to anyone.
He gave you a brain. You can always start something.
Actually, God has taught me in that journey, God has taught me a lot of things. He has taught me that even when it comes to answering, it is you.
Exactly.
Togenda blaming abazadde.
It's your responsibility.
It's your responsibility. Now, even these things I used to say, how can you say you are the father of the fatherless when I don't have a father? Please.
Control yourself.
Control yourself and be a father.
And I've been good anyway. You are alive.
Be a father who you wanted your father to be.
Wow. Wow.
This goes to men out
That's
there by
beautiful.
now. Be a father that you wanted your father to be. Stop blaming your father for not taking care of you.
Those are excuses.
Those are excuses.
To do
Change.
bad.
We've grown up when they've told us a lot of things that are unworthy. And the burdens we have with them. We carry a lot of things. I used to carry a lot of things in my head and in my heart. Until the day I started shedding off one by one.
Intentionally.
One by one. We used to grow up, they used to say us, Tata, tulina kutula abaana bo. Tata, tulina kukyusa pampa z'abaana bo. Tata, tulina kufu. And I'm like, wait a minute. I tried it once and I'm like, wait.
I'm still a man.
I'm still a man.
I'm the head of this family.
I'm the head of this family.
I'll still change the pampers.
I'll still change the pampers, whether you like it or not. So you come to my family, you find me, I feed my son with a bottle. Such is something.
You are breaking a certain cycle.
I'm breaking.
You're saying it ends with me.
Nagamba, what my parents were running away from,
I am embracing.
I am embracing it.
Wow.
You threw something bad. Let me make good use out of
Yeah,
it.
yeah. What the enemy meant for evil.
So you cannot tell me, you wake up in the morning and say, who are you? I tell you I'm Mwesigwa.
Family.
Family.
You even have land.
I have land.
In Uganda.
In Uganda.
Hey, you are a land owner.
I
A landlord.
Tell them I am Mwesigwa.
Yeah? Leading the Mwesigwa family.
I even tell my boys, you are who?
Mwesigwa. And
Even
they are boys, so they're
they
going to
are boys,
expand the clan.
Even the first name they learn, Mwesigwa. You teach them Mwesigwa, they learn.
Wow. Wow. So much to take away from Mwesigwa's story, but I just have a feeling we need an episode where we just dive into the stories, because I believe the journey between marriage and where he is right now, he has met a lot of people. He has pulled a lot of insights. Like, everything now makes sense. The puzzle is fitting together, even if it's not totally together, but it's trying to fit together. And the knowledge of God and finding out who he is and all that, it's an amazing one. I know that we have run out of time, but the best thing I can think about this story is what the enemy meant for evil, God turned it around for good, and he's going to change generations and generations through the bloodline of the Mwesigwas. So do not lose hope. Do not lose hope. God can change any situation at the least expected time, and you can come around and be the liberation for so many people that are out there. So don't belittle yourself. Don't give up. Don't kid yourself. Okay? Stay on the line. Stay on the line, believing that things can actually turn. From us to you, we love you.